Hello, and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea, and today I would like to share with you more of the information I've received from a 25th dimension during my last QHHT hypnosis session. I will be reading from a transcript of the session, and when I refer to Lorrayne, I'm speaking of my practitioner who's asking me questions I've prepared for the session, and when I refer to me, I'm speaking of myself under hypnosis, which means the answers are coming from 25th. I'm going to start reading here, and here's Lorrayne with her first question. You already said the last midterm elections won by the left in the US were rigged as usual. Not to say that the right is of the light, but are the white hats still making progress? We still haven't heard about the re-valuations. You said we would start here and talk about them in more mainstream media, even if they are going to be limited to the country itself. Is this still happening? And I've been wanting to ask this question for a while, but it was never the most pressing issue on my mind. So I finally got a chance to ask it in this last session. So here's the answer. Me. Yeah, so we actually don't think it's going to happen at this point. By we, I mean our higher selves, right? We're in the 25th. Our higher selves are always in the 25th. So you don't believe, you're not really interested in making this happen. In fact, we can even tell you, Clea hasn't even thought about it in a long time. In fact, she had this question in one of our sessions a long time ago, and she's never really even bothered to ask it because the fact is, it's just not as important. We are so focused on the recall that really we're kind of tunnel visioned. That's what we are waiting for. So we don't care to keep all these other things in play. It's the same story we're telling you why these glitches are happening, even with bank accounts or debts or whatever it is, because we don't really care. We really are very much focused on one thing right now, and the rest, yeah, it's noise, okay? So the white hats. First of all the white hats are gone in terms of SSS. So these are all NPCs. Who's controlling the NPCs? Yeah, they keep doing the same things, but they are following our lead. We are the ones intending what needs to happen. So the white hats, yeah, they continue doing their things. So if you are a 3D, they'll be doing, just like all the other NPCs. Some are breaking down, some are not working anymore, and some are gone, dead, and for whatever reason, right? We already know there's a lot less people than there was before in the world. So clearly these people are coming from all kinds of professions and areas. But so the white hats on paper are still doing what they were doing before. But again, the intention is not there. So they're going through the motions, still achieving some things, but it's not going to be anything earth-shattering. The recall is not coming from the white hats. The recall on paper, on the surface, is coming from the people. The people exposing until we have the recall, the pressure, right? But this is NPCs exposing. They're playing. So the NPCs that are part of the, can't say these words, but basically is the W, and then H, and then after that O, or the C, and then D, and then C, will do certain things. It's all NPCs. So who's behind pulling the strings? It's us. And so really, this is the battlefield, so to speak, the shell battlefield that we're focused on, really, at this point. The white hats are kind of yesterday's news, and that kind of thing. We are just much more interested in this particular aspect of reality right now, of quote unquote reality right now. Lorrayne. Okay, thank you. So just to clarify, there are no essences on the planet except those going to New Earth. Me. Yes. Lorrayne. Okay. What was the sound in David's video posted in Telegram this morning? Me. The one about the video with the sound and they were laughing. It wasn't aliens in the sense of, oh my gosh, they're landing. Like that's what they were scared of in the video. Like they don't know what's going on. Is this aliens? It was, again, the matrix is glitching. So things are weird, and weird things are happening everywhere. But again, weird things have always happened. Of course, there's more weird things happening now because we're not keeping the matrix the way that we kept it before. But it's also the fact that look how aware we are of it. Maybe 20 years ago, and someone might say, oh, it's because there was no internet. But really, we didn't really witness so much weirdness, if you want to call it that. And now it's like a daily occurrence. People speak about weird things happening to them. Clea's had a bunch of weird things happening. We started with the sunglasses, and then she says something happened with her daughter's earring, and she could tell you more. But basically, weird things are happening all the time. The matrix is glitching. So in this case, that's what it was. Now, there are a lot of aliens that we already said that circulate around the planet. We already said they're not allowed to just walk on the planet. But yeah, so some of it might be that. But again, it's a glitch in the sense that this has always happened. How come we're hearing them now? How come we're hearing these vibrations, these frequencies? So yeah, it's a glitch. It's literally the matrix. If you think of it as almost like this globe around the planet is breaking. And so all of a sudden we see everything. It's almost like the Truman Show when the main character, by mistake, hits this wall and he finds out it's made of paper. And all of a sudden there is a tear in it and he can go through it. That's what's happening. There's a bunch of tears in this make-believe screen that we set up. Lorraine, it has all gone wonky. And the 25th was laughing. And just to tell you, in case you're not aware of this, so the two events they were talking about, they were referencing one with my sunglasses. I basically, to make a long story short, I went to Italy. I had the sunglasses that we're talking about. I used them one day and then I lost them. I misplaced them. And I'm thinking, where'd they go? And when I came back to the United States a month later, I found them in my car. And now I went through all the ifs and buts and ends. And I'm like, oh, maybe I was dreaming. Maybe I'm like, but I wasn't. I wore them. And I'm aware I wore them because there were so many instances while I was wearing them where I was thinking of them. I even remember giving them to my daughter and say, please take care of them. Don't drop them. And then I found them in my car in the United States. It's the weirdest thing. And the thing they're talking about with my daughter is that the earring, she had a set of earrings on they're just custom jewelry, and they were on a piece of paper. They were all in order. And all of them had those rubber backings that sometimes earrings have, clip earrings have, so they don't hurt the ear. And she wore a pair of these earrings to a friend of mine's house. And at the house, she took off her earrings and she didn't realize she lost one of the backings. My daughter, my friend found it on the floor, but I didn't recognize it. She showed it to me. She said, is this Valentina's? And I'm like, I don't know what that is. And I literally took it and I threw it away in our trash. I said, I don't know what it is, just trash. And I threw it away. And when we got home, Valentina put away her earrings and she found out that one backing was lost basically. And I said, oh shoot, that's what it was. And I went through all the thing. And then weeks later, we happened to look at her earrings and they were backs on them. Like it never happened. It was really interesting, I have to say. And it's funny because I said nothing because I was like, what is going on here? And my daughter said, how weird. And my daughter is 7. She goes, oh, how weird. Okay, I guess that's how it is. Just much more go with the flow. So yeah, it was very interesting. So I wasn't the only one noticing. She also was aware of the fact that it wasn't there before. It's very interesting. Lorraine, okay, here's a dream that Clea had this morning. And again, this was on the 6th of April. I saw a small piece of white fabric stretched over a golden frame, like when you need to embroider something. It had a gray square pattern on it, and there was a miniature live goat smaller than the piece of fabric that was walking on these gray lines. And whatever she walked on turned to a bright pink. She had walked over 40% of the entire canvas. Then I saw the same scene, but now it was a girl walking over the lines. And she also had walked over the same section as the goat. Then same scene with the goat again and again, several times in a row. I'm assuming this was to make sure I remembered. Does this mean that we have only accomplished 40% of our project here? Me. No, they're saying it's just like the numbers that Clea has been given in other dreams. It's just to show you the progress, the countdown. So in this case, it's the same thing. You're seeing basically the goat or the girl. It's us basically doing this work, that we're accomplishing our task. And so it's not exactly a percentage, like it's 40% or 50 or 60% or whatever. It's just to show that this is what we're doing. We are finishing up something. It's almost like an embroidery. You're going about it very intentionally, very carefully. Lorraine, okay, thank you. In the last session, you said that Clea's daughter is not a light worker, so she's going to go to New Earth directly. But in the dream, she was keeping Clea company. No matter how you interpret this, Clea's daughter is a comfort to her. But even when she leaves, the 12,000 are going to be here. So it's not going to be Clea by herself. And we do want to express this because this is going to be true of all the 12,000. How much time will pass between the people going to New Earth and the 12,000 leaving? By then, the veil will be almost completely gone. So we will become consciously aware, as in fully know that everyone is gone, including my daughter. How long will the physical takedown of the planet take? Are we talking about a few minutes? Me. So yeah, no, it's instantaneous. It's virtually instantaneous. Clea was concerned because really she copes with the fact that everybody's gone by saying, well, in my home, it's my daughter, me, and the cats. We're all here. And so it's a refuge. We already said Clea's home is a refuge to her. And so she was concerned. Oh my God, they're going to leave. The cats and my daughter are going to leave. And then I'm going to stay behind because I got to clean this up, which basically means take this down. But no, it's virtually instantaneous. We're all going to New York together. It's just that the 12,000 have to do a few more things. So you can think of it as taking a few minutes. This is not a process. It's just something, it's a task. But I mean, we are doing that at higher self level. So it's going to be no time really. So Clea doesn't need to worry about this because this would be very emotionally taxing for Clea if she actually felt like she was here by herself. And she doesn't want to, she was dreading that when she thought that's what we were saying. We already said, first of all, the 12,000, you're all going to be together. So it's not just going to be one person left behind, even if it's only for a few minutes. And secondly, you know you're going. You just got to shut the door, so to speak. And so if you're one of the 12,000 and you were wondering, here's your answer, because I have been thinking about this and thinking this is only going to get worse from an awareness perspective of what's going on here. And I really don't want to be left by myself, like completely alone here. So I'm glad I asked this question, and it definitely brings me comfort. So, okay, and now we're moving into what I usually term the personal questions part of the session. As you know by now, if you watch any of my previous sessions, these are not really personal questions. Otherwise, obviously, if they had no relevance to any of you, I wouldn't be sharing them. But the fact is that I use my life as a springboard to think or figure out certain things. And the 25th always gives us this universal view of things because none of us is an individual different from anybody else. So that's why I share these with you. So here's the question, Lorraine. A couple of interesting things happened in the last few days. I was at Katrina's house, and Katrina is an old babysitter, and was loving on the orange kitty. And she said, good, you take care of him, Clea, or you help him. Because his cat body died in September, and he's been peeing all over the house since. She's an NPC. How does she know that I can help him? Me. Yeah, so she is an NPC, but she's always known that Clea, because again, people can feel you. And so she's always known that Clea has this type of vibration. So she's just going with the flow, right? And so as an NPC, she's saying, no, you can help him. And of course, Clea can. And Clea has, because even the cat is an NPC. So Clea has intended that he basically stop doing whatever he was doing and he will be fine. And so that's fine. Yeah, so Katrina knew. It's not something that she's realized now as an NPC. Katrina has always known. So it's just the opportunity came up now to voice that opinion. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because you can see that our vibration is felt. So even the NPCs, they behave like they were behaving before. So if something has always been working a certain way, it's going to continue working a certain way, even if these people are shells at this point, which is, I know, hard for a lot of us to accept, including myself. Lorraine, thank you. But how is the orange kitty now? Me, yeah, he's fine. He's doing better and he will be fine. He will stop doing that completely. And I was happy to hear that. Lorraine, thank you. Yesterday, I thought of this friend of mine in the UK, and she's a virtual friend, meaning that is someone that I met online and we connected. It was some spiritual channel at the time, I don't even remember which. And we became friends and had a lot of Zoom calls, and she's a lovely person. I haven't thought of her in ages, and today she wrote to me. Of course, no coincidence. She said she's getting closer to the truth with a capital T. I don't believe she's here any longer. So what is this about if she's an NPC? And I was asking because I know she's gone. And I was surprised that she would write to me to say, I found the truth, which of course, I don't know what that is. I know that she was watching these videos at some point, but I know that she had taken another turn. Like she still wanted to believe in the aliens doing stuff. And now we know that that's just a different version of what's really going on because the aliens were here picking up people. So this is not to say that she was wrong in believing whatever she was believing, but she wasn't necessarily telling me, especially because of the timing, oh, I finally figured out that the 25th is the truth. So that's why I was wondering, I'm like, what is this about? Me. Yeah, so this girl has gone with the aliens, but actually they're telling me that she's going to go to New Earth. And so she's still doing, the message is that she's still doing the work. Now, she's been doing the work for a long time. Very spiritual, lovely human. And so this was just, again, Clea is, we control everything. We control the NPCs as well. Clea wanted to know, and this is why we're telling her, because we want her to know that she will still see her friend again, not only obviously on alien planets, but because she will go to New Earth as well. So Clea wanted to know how she was doing. In fact, Clea thought about this girl a little while before that. And so Clea is trying to make herself believe. Clea is trying to comfort herself that not everybody's dead. And what she means by dead is the people that have gone to 3D chambers are pretty much dead to us, in the sense that while we can check on them, we cannot interact with them. And so that's heartbreaking in many ways. But she's trying to tell herself, yeah, but the people that are on alien planets, you'll see them again. It's fine. You'll go check on them. It'll be so easy. You can go all the time if you want to. That's what Clea is doing. So she's trying to connect to people or NPCs of people that she's going to see again. Meanwhile, interestingly, she's forgetting names of people that she knows much better than this girl because they are in 3D chambers now. And she's never going to see them again. So you see, we engineer everything to help us feel better. I hope this message is of some comfort, and that's why I wanted to share with you, even though it deals with one of my friends. Lorrayne, thank you. You said that the dark has had a stronger gravitational pull on this planet until recently. When I was little, my dad had the opportunity to get involved with some huge, less than legit money-making opportunity. But before this could happen, a mafioso threatened him that they would kill his children, my brother and me, if he got involved. Why did this happen? And why did my father pull back? Was this all planned by our higher selves? Clearly, my brother and I were not interested in being taken out of the game so quickly or so dramatically. Why would my dad even find himself confronted with that option if he didn't want to stray toward the dark? And I thought this was an interesting answer. So I hope you enjoy it, even though it's kind of a weird setup and a weird personal experience. Me. Yeah, so my father really did want to stray toward the dark. He was open to it. We already said, you don't have to do anything here to stray toward the dark. If you don't want to, then you stop. Because unfortunately, everything has been so dark here that was the default. It's just straight towards the dark. So my father, that's the direction he was going in. But then because of my brother and I, and we are both on the team with the light, my mother is as well. Of course, we would change the dynamic. And so my father pulled back from the abyss, so to speak. And of course, we have all chosen together this experience. This was not by chance. But yeah, absolutely. All of this was, again, set up in a certain way. And this was also my father's higher self. He decided that, no, I don't want to be on the side of the dark, and I don't want to do all of this. So it's not that this mafioso shows up out of nowhere. Lots of people were invited in to participate in this thing, and they have done it. Why should my father not be part of that? It's because it was not meant for him to be part of that. We certainly were not. Nothing was going to happen to me and my brother because we didn't come here to have a short life and then have to reincarnate again. That's not the experience we chose. We had work to do. Both of us have done a lot of work. Obviously, I mean, you see the work that Clea is doing right now. So we all have that. We've all planned, especially when we came into this lifetime and knew this was going to be the lifetime, that the takedown was around the corner, even though it's taken, decades to get here. But again, in the great scheme of things, it's not a really long time. We've had other incarnations when we came in on this planet in other lives and lifetimes, and we're like, it's not going to happen. We're so far away from our goal. It's not going to happen. And because we only expect our lifespans to be about 50, 60, 70 years, we knew it wouldn't happen. In this lifetime, we're like, yeah, this is it. We'll get there. We don't know when, but we knew we would get there. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I want to thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.